You wanted to bother Monica, but I don't even remember the girl's name, and I don't even want to because that scene pissed me off. Hi, I'm AP, and I'm just a girl who likes to talk about movies, books, and TV shows. So if you're into that, please stick around for the dramatics. Now listen, I am a hopeless romantic, okay? I love from the cheesy to like the dramatic rom-coms, the running through the airport, all of that. I love it. I love love. I have always been this way since I was a kid. And there's one movie since the age of 10 that I have despised with every fiber of my being. And that movie is Love and Basketball. Now, before you come at me, I did not come to this conclusion lightly, okay? It wasn't just like, oh, you know what, I was right, I hate this is a terrible movie. No, that's not it. I actually, when rewatching it, some things that I noticed, I was like, okay, I actually liked it. It's actually a pretty decent movie. It's actually a really good movie. However, if we're talking about in the context of it being a love story, no. That is where it falls apart for me. This movie in like almost 13 years. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. And I wanted to go back and watch it to give it a fair chance. Okay, let's go back. Let's watch the movie. Let's see if my opinion have changed, because there have been plenty of shows and TV I used to love or I used to hate, and I'm like, oh my god, this was actually a pretty good show. Where, oh no, this was terrible. I had terrible taste as a child. So I just kind of wanted to go back and see if my opinion has changed. And I don't know why you're lying to me, because where's the romance? Where's the love? This is trauma. I'm watching this girl be traumatized for 2 hours. Okay. So, Love and Basketball was released in April of 2000. It was written and directed by Gina Prince Bethwood. And it stars Nal Lathan as Monica Wright and Omar Epps as Quincy McCall. On the surface level, this is a story about two childhood best friends who both have dreams of becoming professional basketball player. You have Monica, who is unapologetically driven about what she wants to do and where she wants to go. And then you have Q, who is just like a naturally born talent. His father is already playing in the NBA. So this movie follows them through 4 quarters of their lives. And I would say that each of these quarters are significant factors for them, you know, career-wise, relationship-wise, and family-wise. Quarter 1 starts off in their childhood, 1981. This is where they meet, they become friends, they have their first kiss, and you kind of see how they're both passionate about basketball and how much they love the sport, you know, what their dreams are, and giving you an introduction to their family, what their family likes going to be like. So quarter 2 starts in high school, is 1988. This is where you're seeing their relationship with themselves, with them, their parents, basketball. Basically, this is the start of Quincy and Monica. Quarter 3, and this is where certain aspects of their personal lives, their growing careers, will eventually lead to a conflict that will break them apart, and they break up and go their separate ways. Quarter 4 is their adulthood, and this is where they reconnect, come together after years apart, and figure out and overcome and reconcile, and love conquers all moment of the movie. Love. I'm gonna do that throughout this entire video, okay? Because, again, love. You know, this movie is set in the background of basketball and how men and women, when it comes to wanting to be professional athletes and wanting to work on it, and how your career can impact the relationships that you have, and those goals can conflict with you. You know, you can be really passionate about something, but also madly, deeply in love with someone else. And they kind of become like a conflict or tension created within your lives. You know how certain family dynamics can alter and shift your complete reality and X, Y, and Z, right? On the surface, this seems like a pretty well-established love story. It's like so simple, like on paper, it sounds great. However, in reality, in execution, no. And I'm sorry. Before I go into why it doesn't work for me, I am going to go into what I did like. Because like there were aspects of this film that I did like. And I don't think it was a bad movie. Like structurally, I think story-wise is where it falls apart for me.
Despite all its negatives, there were elements that showed, two very wealthy, established black family. Yes, it showed different forms of that wealth and how each family viewed their wealth, and it might not necessarily always been in like the best light, but still, I appreciated that. I appreciate the push and the importance of education and being educated, and not only wanting to put all your eggs in one basket, right? That's important, and to teach that while you're young. And I really did love seeing the environment of their high school and the entire vibe of like that black student body. When I was younger, that didn't really click for me. I didn't see that as like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. So I don't, like I said, I want to make it clear, like, I'm not, and I don't want it to seem like I'm trashing on the movie or, oh, this is a horrible movie, da da da. Like, that's not my ultimate goal. It's more so when it comes, I'm examining it as when it comes to love and that part.
This was not a bad movie. Structurally. Story-wise, it's a different story. Now let's get into why I believe this movie is not a romantic masterpiece, why it shouldn't be labeled as a romantic movie at all, why it should be a tragedy. Let's get into that. Starting in quarter one, we meet a young Monica and a young Quincy. They meet on the basketball court, which is, love and basketball. This is where their love blossoms. This is where they first meet. And from the age of 12, this man was pushy. Not only was he sexist, him and his friends were both sexist, saying that a girl couldn't play basketball. He then proceeds to get really angry when she's beating them and proceeds to push her so hard onto the ground. She ends up having a permanent scar on her face. This is their start of their romance. This is their start of their friendship. Okay, cool. Now, I get it. This is not the first movie that has done, the whole boys will be mean to you type thing. Still didn't like it. But besides that, there was a small moment after this that I thought I was actually wrong about this movie. I was like, okay, I could be wrong, because they did have like a couple cute moments, like when they had their first kiss, when he came with the apology card and stuff like that. You got to see those small little pieces that I was like, okay, this is cute. This is a cute little relationship. I for a second I was like, I could be wrong. Then we get to the moments that happened after. He basically tells her, so you're my girl now. She's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll be your girl. They start dating, basically. This is the start of a relationship. He's like, okay, we'll kiss. They have the first kiss. Not gonna lie, it was cute. I thought it was cute. I'm sorry. I don't know if Q was trying to assert his dominance or he was just trying to, like, be a man. I don't know how you're gonna be a man in 11, but okay, cool. Demands her, like, oh, you're gonna ride on the back of my bike. And Monica, being as independent and as fierce as she is like, no, I don't wanna ride your bike. I wanna ride my own bike. This boy proceeds to get upset that this girl wants to ride her own bike because she's his girlfriend, so she gotta go along with what he says. It's a lot about the future dynamics of their relationship, because even as kids, it was always on Quincy's terms. It was always on what he wanted to do. And Monica kind of adjusted to it. Now, don't get me wrong, she did stand her ground and she would be like, hey, that's not okay. But eventually, it would become Q's way. It would always just seem one side. It always seems like Monica was willing to make the adjustments for him and he was not willing to do the same.
I didn't necessarily, or why I saw it as a warning signs. So it wasn't necessarily that Quincy was trying to assert his dominance, but it was more so him repeating a behavior that he saw his father do with his mom. And that's where a lot of the issues within Monica and his relationship stem from, is that Quincy is constantly trying to achieve, it's to emulate his father. And granted, his dad not the best example for romance, given what he does to his mom later on. But it shows that, Quincy wants his life a certain way, and it's supposed to look a certain way. It's supposed to be a certain way. His girlfriend, his wife, whatever, is supposed to act a specific way. And when that doesn't happen, or it's not what he has been exposed to or used to, he tends to act out because he doesn't know how to process, oh, my girlfriend or my friend or whoever isn't necessarily going to operate exactly how I want them to, or might have opinions of their own, especially when you have a girl or a woman like Monica, who she doesn't want to be a woman who is relying on a man. Of course I'm talking about 11-year-old kids, so they're not going to be able to understand, oh, this isn't how it works, because no, my mom and my dad did this is how it's supposed to be, or when my mom and my dad did this, I don't want to be like that. So they're not going to be able to communicate that in an appropriate way. But you see, just based off of the reactions and the fight, the physical fight that they have afterwards, is that this is constantly going to be an issue where Q sees something one way, or needs something, or expects something in a very specific way, and when he does not get it, he retaliates against Monica. And Monica is not willing to give up her ideals and her wants and desires. She's just not willing to sacrifice that for him in that moment.
Let's fast forward to high school, and this is where we see Q is the star of the basketball team. Monica is the captain of the girls' basketball team, but they're having two very different experiences as student athletes. Q kind of has it all mapped up. He's basically a Napo baby of basketball. His father has it kind of laid out for him. He has reporters coming to his game. He has bunch of colleges ready to recruit him. It's not a question of if, it's when is it going to happen, what are you going to do. There's options for him. He has a path to it. Whereas on Monica's side, you're seeing how she is working really hard, and she's super impassioned by this, and it's because this is all she has, this is all she got. It's not handed to her. It's not to her. She has to work so hard to get half of what Quincy does. And so, you see her getting impassioned and getting upset and getting intense during games. And she's also facing this pressure from her family, basically being like, girl, you gonna have to make a decision soon. This might not be for you. And again, this is her dream. This is what she wants to do. So you have that aspect from their career wise, and how kind of set up for Q. Monica is fighting her way to get there. Then you have it from the romantic aspect and the social aspect, because that's important too. Q got all the friends, got the girls coming after him, girls even going to Monica and being like, can you hand Q this letter? That part bothered me, because it was why can't you give him the letter yourself? And her excuse was, I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I need to get so much out, because her excuse was, oh, I don't want to seem desperate. But girl, you seem desperate either way. You stand up and give this man the note. Slip it in his locker. You wanted to. You just wanted to bother Monica. But I don't even remember the girl's name. And I don't even want to, because that scene pissed me off. Then you have Monica, she's Q's best friend. That's basically what you don't see her with any friends. You don't see her with any romantic prospects. You don't see her as a social butterfly. She's a bit of a loner. I think the closest person that she has to her friend is her older sister, and that's really it.
I say all this because I think it's easy to paint their friendship, or to say, oh, they're best friends, when he's literally the only person who talks to her outside of something that relates to him. And honestly, I don't even know if that part is factual. but I don't feel like going back to the movie and checking that. Anyway.
There's like 2 major events happening. So there's the school dance and the girls championship. I don't know if, I can't remember if Q was having one, but that, like I said, that wasn't really in relevance. But this championship was really, really important because this was Monica's last chance to get recruited to play, and the school happens to be USC. The champion game comes, they lose. Monica is devastated. For her, this was the last opportunity for her to make it, and it was kind of like, it's over. We had Q in the stands watching her play. He did not go and comfort her. I just want to make that clear. Like, at this time, they're supposedly best friends, and he did not go and be like, it's okay, you did great. Like, he didn't do that, but they're supposed to be. And at this point, you can tell that Monica has feelings for Q. That she likes him. That there's a moment in the film where she asks her, like, older sister, like, have you ever been in love? And like, how do you know, have you been in love? And she's talking about Q because she has feelings for him.
Because it is easy to fall in love with the only thing you know. It is easy to fall in love with the person who's kind to you, or that friend, because if no one else is willing to get to know you or develop a friendship, or if they want to develop a friendship with you, it has to do with Quincy, then yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm in love with this person. And that's where, to me, it's like, okay,
this is the only boy who has given her attention from what the film has shown us. Does she like you, or is he the only thing she's had? The only thing she knows? I don't know. But that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like, oh, I like Q because I like him. It's just, he's the only guy he's not even nice to her. I want to make that clear. Like, he's not even nice. Relationship gives, and like an underlying message of this movie gives, is that like, if a boy likes you, he's going to be mean to you, or he's going to be rude to you. And I don't really like that, but like, he's not even really that nice to her. Like, he has his moments, but still, he's not really that nice to her.
Now, before y'all come at me trying to use this man as, oh no, she did have interest, he don't count. And the reason why he don't count is because it wasn't that he pursued her because he wanted to be with Monica. He was there as a plot device to use as, oh, he's gonna make Q jealous. He's kind of sleazy. You can see that, he's trying to be sweet, but he just wants to get into her pants. Also, the whole reason this man went out with her was because he wanted to be with Monica's sister, or he wanted to be with a girl who looked like Monica's sister. That don't count. You cannot use this man right here. You cannot use him as an example because he did not show genuine interest from the beginning.
So we jump ahead. They're at the dance. Monica's sister set her up with this college guy. This was weird and creepy. The fact that this man was the fact that you're trying to hit on a 17-year-old, 18-year-old girl, and you, at your big age, and you're in college, you're weird. You're weird for that. Like, you could tell that she is nervous, she's uncomfortable, and you're a weirdo. You're a weird, like, why? What is wrong with you? I disturbed my peace, but again, I digress. So Monica, she's at the prom. She's at this dance. She's dressed up in this room. She does that. This is when Q notices her, or I think this is when Q sees her as an option, because there are parts in the stage, the high school stage, where he's like at her games, or when they're having like moments when he drives her home after his game. There are parts where you can see that he might be interested, or like he cares for her. But this was the first time that I think that it like clicked in his head, that, oh, Monica's an option. And that's because Monica put on a tight dress and some heels and wore her hair down.
Even though she looks amazing and different from what we've seen her before, you can tell that she's visibly uncomfortable. She has conformed herself to look like these other girls and the women in her life, but she's uncomfortable. You can physically see that this is not what she's used to. You know, she's the complete opposite of all of the other women that were shown in this movie, especially all of the other women.
And for him to be like, oh, she's an option. I think I feel something for her. She had to conforming herself to something that he saw as an option for him to be like, I like her. And this is romance. This is a love story. Okay. Of course, he sees her all does up. He's jealous because of her date. By the end of the night, they both ditch their dates. They're back at home. Monica sees this letter from USC. She goes to Q, asks him to read it. I'm not gonna lie, this moment was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. He reads the letter. She gets accepted. Now they're both going to UCS. I think I've been saying CSU, and I meant to say UCS. USC. I don't know what I've been saying. I'll fix it later. They're both going to USC, and this is where Monica makes the first move. She kisses him, and basically they end up spending the night together, and this is the start of their relationship. College. Yeah, this is where the movie loses me on the romance aspect of it, or trying to tell me that this is a love story. Section this quarter ruins it. The third quarter, the beginning of the end to me, okay? It's basically the same thing as it was in high school. Q's the man on campus, the girls know him, the guys know him, star basketball player. The only difference is back in high school when they were playing the games, they had a similar turnout. It was a big crowd for both teams, which was really awesome to see. I did enjoy that. But in college, you're starting to see like the really big differences between men and women's sports. You got, tons of people, and then you have, the women where they seem like they're playing in the same gym they're practicing at. Like, it don't feel any different. But Monica's starting from the bottom now. She's a freshman. She gotta work to where she is. Q already the star player. His father's influence. This man is a nepo baby of basketball. Again, it is not a question of if, it is a question of when. He's riding pretty at this moment, right? Start of the third quarter, he is winning. He is like there. Monica, on the other hand, they struggling. She's struggling. She's trying her hardest. Coach hate her. Seemed like her teammate hate her. She's getting the freshman treatment. It's right, but like it happens all the time in sports. You're not going to have what Q had typical for freshman athletes usually. So that's what's happening at the beginning of the college life with their professional careers. Romantically, they're doing great. At least that's what the movie wants us to see. I personally take issue with that first walking through the campus and the girls they're being flirty. I don't care what you say, they're being flirty. And the fact that Q didn't check them on that bothers me. Now you might say that I am being a little bit too judgmental, but what happens later on in this, I am justified for feeling the way that I feel about this section or this part in the movie, because that man. But at this point, we're seeing that they're in a honeymoon stage, I guess. They're really lovey-dovey. He's doing his best, I would say, to support her. He's being supportive, so I can't say that he isn't, but it's like the bare minimum. Also, this is the first part of the movie where we hear Monica say, I love you. I want to make that clear. Monica says, I love you. Everything's going pretty good until it's not. Just like in high school, Q's parents are still having issues. There's still this tension building within their relationship, and it basically gets blown to the surface when it is revealed that Q's father has been cheating on his mom and is expecting a baby. Q finds out. He goes to his father, and his dad lies to his face, and he's like, no, I would never do that to your mom. And Q's like, all right, cool, my dad's not lying to me. And up until this point, Q has idolized his father. He wants to be his dad. He wants to make his father proud. He holds him up on this pedestal. So for this moment where there's this rumor coming out about his dad, kind of shakes him, but he's like, my dad told me that's not true. Why would he lie to me, right? Then he goes to his mom, and his mom, his mom was smart. She had an investigator because his daddy ain't it. Finds out that this man has been cheating on her, that the rumors are true. He's having a kid on her, and when that gets reviewed to Q, it devastates him. It does rock his world. Boy who has been riding high, his college career is doing great. He got a girlfriend. His parents were doing great. His father is amazing. That entire thing has just kind of collapsed on him a little bit within his personal life. On the other end, Monica's college career is shifting. She is finally getting the opportunity to start. One of her teammates, who was also part of issue, ends up getting hurt. The coach is like, "You're gonna start," and this was her moment to prove herself, and she did. This leads to her getting a starting position, which is, for those who don't know, that is really important in college sports, in any sports, but specifically college sport. Getting as much playing time, getting a starting position, especially as a freshman, is a big deal. And so her getting this opportunity, it's amazing. She's happy. So now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Q and Monica's relationship was good when everything in his life was going the way he wanted it or way he intended it to, right? And Monica was still struggling with stuff in her life, because I want to make it something clear. Her relationship with her mom hasn't improved either. They still have that tension. Granted, they've had this throughout her entire childhood, unlike Quincy, whose father he's idolized his entire life, where Monica's a little bit different with her mom. But still, Q was here riding high. Monica was here trying to at least get to half of that. Now it's kind of shifted to where Monica she's getting the playing time. She's hanging out with her teammates. She's everything she's dreamt of is kind of coming true. So one night, everything has happened. Monica and Q, they meet up. They're at a basketball court. They're sitting, they're talking, and he's basically telling her the stuff that's happening with her dad. And being there, she's trying to be supportive. He can't get over the fact that his father lied to him about it and hurt his mom. That's just something that he can't forget. And that's understandable. That makes sense. So basically, they're having this conversation, and at some point, he asks her to stay out later, and she's like, "I can't because I have curfew." And she doesn't really say that at first. She says, "Walking to my dorm," and he's like, "I don't want to be around people." So that automatically shuts that down, and he's like, "Well, why can't you stay out late?" And she's like, "Because of curfew, things are going." Again, at this point, Monica has worked her tail off. She's finally getting the playing time. This is her career. This is her dream. It's reasonable why she didn't want to put that at risk, right? However, I also understand his frustration and his annoyance, because I just learned about this heartbreaking news about my father. My world has been completely rocked. You of all people know how my relationship with my dad is. I need someone to be there for me. Now, a reasonable person would communicate that, but instead says, "You know what, I should probably be alone anyway." We go into the next couple of days. Q is upset and spiraling. He's made the decision that he's going to go. Oh, something that I forgot to mention is that at this point, his father is like, I want you to get an education, because his dad did not do that. His dad just jumped into the NBA, so he wanted his kid to kind of have a fallback plan. At this point, he's not listening to his dad. He won't do what he want to do. So he made the decision. He's getting drafted. He's not talking to his dad. He's done with him. Again, Monica living her best life. She's talked with her coach. Her coach was like, "Listen, the only reason I'm writing you so hard is because I care about you." And for anyone who has played sports, we all know if your coach is quiet, they don't care about you. They don't like you. They don't want you on their team. You're just there. If your coach cares about you, they will break you. They will make it hurt. It hurt when you have a coach that cares about you, because it don't feel like it. It feel like they hate you. Childhood trauma. Anyway, it's shifting for her. She's actually living her dream, and it's not same thing that happening for Q. This is where it starts to fall apart, and I'm like, no. Monica's, they win this team. I think this is the first game her coach is starting her, not because her teammate is injured anymore, but because she's actually like starting her. They win the game. Everybody's happy. Her and her team goes out to celebrate. She's having fun at the party. Q happens to just come to the party. He not happy that she's celebrating. He's just not. You can see it all over his face. He's upset. So you know what he goes? He does, because he's mad at his girlfriend. He goes and he starts flirting with another girl in front of her because he's upset. And this girl is trash because she know that he has a girlfriend. But we're not even gonna get on her. So Monica's like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? What's going on? His response is to kiss her. She's like, you're drunk. What is going on with you? He gets upset. He storms off. This is the part that drives me crazy. The next day, or like a few days later, she goes to his dorm. He's standoffish. Quincy goes to open it, and it's a girl from the party. And they're going on a freaking lunch date. I would have went to jail. Because what do you mean if I want to? Huh?
Hi, Editor P here, and I just wanted to add a couple of notes to this video. So the first thing is the amount of war crimes I would have committed against that man if this had been me, if I had showed up to his apartment, my boyfriend's apartment, and he arranged a date with another girl. They would have to put me under the prison. There is no other option. That is all I'm going to say there. And then the second thing, after some consideration, I realized that I am crazy for trying to film this all or try to edit this all into one video. So I'm going to end it here and come back with a part 2, which will explain the rest of that, what happens in this section of the movie, and the fourth quarter of the movie, and then my thoughts and all that stuff, and then kind of wrap it in a neat present. So I'm gonna end it here. Don't forget to come back. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you.